Hey everyone, I'm Victoria. I'm here today at Healthcon Denver, and I'm going to be doing some coverage of things going on the convention center. Now, because of my role on the board of directors, I am here compensated by the AAPC. That is not going to impact, though, my judgment of the convention. I'm just going to be talking about some of the things that are going on here, some of the things that you can expect when you go to a conference from the AAPC. So let's go and get into it. So we are on day 2 of Healthcon. After the lazy river, I just ate some snacks and went to bed. Today we're having breakfast with the exhibitors. We are having lunch with the exhibitors, and then there is a special event in the evening. It is a 70 Thieves disco. I bought an outfit that is absolutely wild. I still have not had a chance to meet the vendors, and I'm still looking for some friends. So hopefully we'll be able to accomplish that today. Sorry I haven't been able to take more kind of footage. I'm not really permitted to film the speakers because they sell those sessions. And also I just want to try and be as respectful as possible as I can. Alright, I got my wristband that I was temperature checked today, and then they needed some relief at the temp check station. So I helped out there. Now I am heading down to grab some breakfast. I heard they have a very good spread for breakfast today, so we're gonna go and grab something to eat, and then we can head to the first session. This morning they had a breakfast spread that included breakfast sandwiches, breakfast burritos, there was fruit, there was cereal, there was lots of different juices available as well. Oh my god, they got strawberry water today.
I like that one, so good. That's why I'm having.
I feel like I should have brought an extra thermos. The general session for the day was the Evaluation and Management Question and Answer panel. You can see there on the very left is Colleen, the current president of the NAB, followed by Ray, as well as Jackie Caprios, who is a former president of the NAB. Dr. Church was also joining in remotely from the screen. So we just finished the session on E&M. Always a lot of questions that go on with E&M. It was a great session. I actually learned quite a few things while I was there. It's always good to be able to ask questions, get clarifications, see that everyone else is having some of those same pain points that you are. There's a short break, and then we are going into diagnosis coding. So diagnosis coding I'm really excited about as well. So it should be a great session. But I'm glad to see there's Shannon. I love Shannon. I'm like trying not to fangirl right now because of her, but I still have to go out and check all of the videos out. But in a bit, because I am packed with my schedule. So in addition to all of the fun going on in the conference app, at the end of each presentation they throw up the CEU code. But you can't scan that with the conference app, you need to use your My AAPC app. So you use that, and there's a button on here that you can click for your CEUs, and you can actually scan the QR code with your phone, which makes it super easy, convenient. Sometimes though, because there's so many people scanning at once, it does get a little bit congested. It tends to circle around a little bit, like when you're on your internet browser and it just goes round and round and round and round and round. So that kind of happens. So our next session, I'm really excited about the diagnosis coding session. It's going to be a great time, and I'm just excited to learn. And then after that, I think we're having breakout sessions. I don't know that I'm going to be able to attend any of the breakout sessions because there's just going to be so much going on with monitoring rooms and things. So if I get to attend any breakout sessions, it will be kind of a happy occurrence. Okay, so we just finished the general session. It was on the diagnosis coding update. So good. All of the ladies up there always look so professional. I am so impressed. I'm not the best at answering questions like that, like about coding, just on the spot. So it's got to be, I'm sure, very, very stressful. They handle themselves so well. And it was really interesting to see that there were so many coding updates for some of the OB things, recognizing some of the reasons that mothers may be coming in, that they're having sensitive conditions going on with their expected child, and how we're going to be addressing that going forward. So Christine and Jennifer in the background, they're waving at me. And now we're actually going into breakout sessions. So I'm going to meet up with my people on the board of directors, and what we're going to be doing is checking some of the breakout rooms, directing people, making sure that they're going into the right rooms, greeting them, saying hello, and there's a lot of great breakout sessions happening. Again, I have ones that I've kind of picked that if I can get into them, I'm going to be very happy about that. But we will see how it goes. I'm someone that I like to sit up front too, especially during big sessions, because I want to be almost like the emotional pace car, so that if I sit up front and people behind me see me and I'm active and I'm engaged and I'm smiling and I'm looking at the speakers, and I can kind of like encourage the speakers a little too, like smiling and being like, yeah, almost kind of like signaling like, yes, you're doing a good job, this is awesome. I think it makes them feel better, and I think it just gives a better mood to the room. I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy, but anyway, gotta get to work. All right, I am starving. I am ready to head out to lunch. Now, we were told that we could change into our 70s disco dance attire. There's a 70s dance tonight, as long as it is professionally appropriate outfit. Unfortunately, mine is not. It's got a bare midriff in it. So I will be waiting until tonight to change into my outfit. So right now, I'm just gonna go and grab some lunch because I am hungry. Had a really nice lunch. They had chicken and salmon. I wasn't interested in either of those, but they had enough kind of sides to fill me up and soup, and then there were really good desserts. After lunch, there are more breakout sessions. It looked like Rita's is full, which is crucial conversations. And then they're having anesthesia coding, coding and billing for rural health clinics and community health centers, compliance challenges with non-physician practitioners. That one is also full. Very popular topic, I'm sure you can imagine. And then E&M and other office outpatient guidelines, risk associated with coding for time. But I have been directed that we are going to do the hustle as the board for the 70s dance party, which doesn't sound like such a terrible thing, but I've gotten really, I don't know, funny about being so independent. And then when someone's kind of like, this is what you're gonna do, I get like oppositional about it, you know what I mean? So that combined with just the tiredness and, you know, my foot is so swollen that it's like literally eating into my foot because of my venous insufficiency. Plus, it's just a long day for me. I think I've spoken before. I don't usually roll out of bed till like 8 a.m. And then I get my kid ready. I go to the gym. I come back. I shower. I take care of a couple of things. I usually don't get rolling until around lunchtime. So I'm definitely not used to, oh, you have to be up early and at this and doing this and then doing this and then working 12 hours straight. It's a huge change for me. Plus, I'm flying out tomorrow in the kind of late morning. Obviously, technically, as a single mom, you know, I have to worry about my kid. My boyfriend's been raising her with me since she was 2. She's 10 years old now, but it's still just nerve-wracking. Things happen, like yesterday's meltdown. So I'm trying to get a lot of things packed in and get a lot accomplished, but I have to kind of keep my time a little bit short because of all of the things I need to take care of at home. Everyone probably thinks I'm just a huge flake. All right, we gotta do it. We gotta finish this up. Let's go. All right, so here's where we're at. I'm back in my room. We just finished the last session of the day. Right before the second to last and the last session, there was a break period and they had fruit and candy. So, I hate to admit this, but I ate 2 candy bars. Now, I'm not quite sure what exactly all is transpiring, but my board of directors sisters had the idea to dance the hustle at the 70s dance party tonight. And the idea was to kind of challenge the National Advisory Board, both of which are the AAPC's volunteer boards, to a dance off. But now it kind of turned into, we're gonna turn and do the hustle and then everyone's gonna join in. I'm not quite sure what exactly is going to transpire. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get footage of it or not. And even so, I will have to take out the music because I don't wanna get a copyright strike on YouTube. I have a really cool outfit for the 70s disco, so I have to go and get changed and ready, and then we'll head down. I think I'm gonna take you guys along. We'll check it out.
To have a little number for you tonight. So let's give these pretty ladies a chance to show you a little bit about dancing.
For the third and final day of Healthcon. It's been great. That party last night was wild. I definitely made some friends for life, but I have to fly out today at 11 o'clock to get back home to my life and my daughter. So I'm not going to be able to catch all the sessions, but I'm going to try and grab some last minute photos with all of my friends and just enjoy the last couple hours of getting to network with all of my industry friends. So we just finished up the first general session of the day. Ray Jimenez was talking about the 2023 changes that are coming for E&M. I am super excited to have things just streamlined across the board and looking forward to checking out some of the new grids and audit tools that are going to be coming out in regards to it. I'll certainly be posting some updates and things on my various social media platforms. Everyone was like super engaged. It was a great session. So I'm going to go take a break and then I'm going to maybe grab another session. I don't know, my flight's leaving in a couple hours, so we'll see what else I can get in. All right, so everyone's heading into the second to last session of the day, and then they're having a luncheon. I won't be able to meet up with that because I gotta catch my plane out, but it's been great. Everyone's having a great time, and I'm really in love with the National Advisory Board that they have for this year. They are doing a phenomenal job, not just greeting everyone, directing them to their locations. They're just so incredibly well-informed, so warm, so inviting. I'm just really impressed with the people that are going to be on the National Advisory Board for the next 3 years. And there's still just such a good variety of sessions happening. You can see here, this one is stereotactic procedures for diagnosis of intracranial lesions. And I think the one over here is diversity and inclusion awareness. So you see here, Friday, session 6A, diversity, equity, and inclusion awareness in the medical field. We also have, in more of our legal compliance section, a session on recent healthcare enforcement activities and fraud trends. And this one with the absolutely amazing Jackie Capreos, Don't Make My Mistakes, as well as Christine Hall presenting on the future of reimbursement risk adjustment.
Do you want me to finish here?
All right, I just wrapped up. I was hanging out with my board of directors sisters for a while, and now it's just time to go do the one last sweep of my room, make sure I got everything, and head out. It seems like everyone was really enjoying those last sessions, and I hope they enjoyed their very, very last one too, and the luncheon. I've gotten to stay at the luncheon, I think the last time I was at Healthcon in 2018 for Orlando. And they're very, very wonderful networking luncheons that they have at the end of the conference. It's just always so exciting to network and meet everyone. And it almost seems like a vacation because you're traveling and you're going out and you've got all this stuff to do, but it's exhausting to go to conferences. It really is. And by the end of the day, sometimes you just kind of want to go back to your hotel room and put your feet up. Hey, I'm back. All right, so final thoughts about Healthcon. First and foremost, oh my gosh, I need to invest in some more equipment if I am going to be going out and doing any more video recording outside of my office. So I just used the on-camera mic for when I was recording because the mic that I usually use is one directional. So with the onboard mic, I think I definitely need like a lapel mic or something if I'm going to be recording while I'm out and about. Quickly, a couple of travel tips. I talked about my packing cubes. So they're basically like little zipped up cubes that you can like roll up all of your pants and stick them all in and zip them all up so they're all together. And they're nice because I basically put everything in there and then I just take them right out of my suitcase and can put them in one of the drawers in the hotel. Also, thank goodness I did this because it was super dry in Colorado. I actually had my eye doctor update my prescription for my contact lenses to not just get the ones that last a few weeks, but some dailies as well because it was so dry up there. I was happy at the end of the day to just take out my daily contacts and throw them away. Plus I have to use that peroxide solution and it's easier to just use daily contacts versus having to make sure that I pack or have access to the right eye contact lens solution. Now, if you are ever interested in going to a large conference, whether it be through AAPC or a HEMA or even a large seminar, here are some of the tips I want to provide you. Approach your boss at budget time if you're looking for them to cover the cost of the conference or accommodations for the conference for you. If you plan ahead and say, hey, I want to attend this conference, they'll make sure that they put that in the budget. If you approach them after budget time and they don't have any money because they didn't think about putting that aside or requesting that they will need that much money for continuing education for you, you're going to have a lower chance of having that covered. I've encountered a lot of employers that won't cover the cost of conference, but they'll count them as days worked so you don't have to use your paid time off. But then they want you to bring back all of that information that you learned and share that with your team. And the AAPC oftentimes on their conference webpage will give you some tips on how to approach your employer. And sometimes in the past, they've actually given you some email scripting that you could send over to kind of sell all of the reasons why you want to go to conference. Now, if you are covering it yourself, be on the lookout for those early bird specials because oftentimes the earlier you book, you can get a cheaper rate. And if you're someone who's active in your local chapter and you're comfortable with your chapter members and comfortable with sharing a room, don't be afraid to reach out to some people and ask if they want to split a hotel room with you. Now, with your conference sessions, make sure you get access and book those as early as you can. At this last conference, there were some sessions that they had to have people wait outside their room because they said, hold on, we want to make sure everyone who's registered already for this session can get in, because sometimes seating is limited, especially for some of those popular topics. There's always room in the general sessions, but some of those breakout sessions, if someone's talking about something really popular, like E&M changes, or telemedicine or another hot topic, oftentimes the capacity for those can book up really quickly. So as soon as you have access, go in and pick out what your sessions are. You can always change them later, especially it's super easy to do it on the app on your phone, but make sure you have at least something so that you can get into one of those sessions if it's a hot topic. Now, also mingle, talk to everyone, and use your conference app even if you're attending in person to make those connections through the conference app. Talk to everyone, talk to people at your table, talk to the vendors, because especially the vendors, they oftentimes have like candy and prizes. Talk to the AAPC staff at the merch table and people on the board of directors, the National Advisory Board, AAPC Alex. Also, something I failed to do this time is if you want to buy some merchandise, buy it early, because I waited too long and then they were sold out of some sizes of merch that I want. Although I will say that Code Health sends me whatever merch I want. Just saying. Oh, and lastly, one last tip for conference. Do not do this. When I was sitting at one of my tables, I could see that the lady sitting at the table next to me had her work computer open with her EMR open, and there were clearly patient cases being opened on her laptop. So although you are at a conference with people in the similar field as you, that does not mean that everyone is a covered entity and that you can just have patient names and data flashing on your computer, because I have not signed any disclosures in regards to not releasing your patient information. You are supposed to be keeping that private regardless of the fact that we are all people that work in healthcare. Don't have PHI up on your computer. There's actually even cameras sometimes in the rooms that are recording, and no one wants to have that conversation with an attendee. Now, I had a great time, and of course this was a regional conference, not a national conference. I would hope to see that there'll be more coming out in national conferences. The bigger blow up, they tend to be more elaborate, more speakers, more of everything. I miss some of the aspects from the big national conferences, like when Dave Blackmore used to come around and dress as Elvis, or that time that he dressed as Gaston, and I get to go up on stage and answer trivia. By the way, if anyone out there is ever throwing a healthcare event and you want me to come out and do some media and press coverage, we might be able to work something out. As far as am I going to the next AAPC conference, which will be 2023 in Tennessee, Nashville's never really been on my bucket list of places to go, although, I hear that the Gaylord in Orlando is really nice AAPC. So time will tell if I'll make it over to Nashville for the 2023 conference. So maybe I'll see you there, but if not, I will see you guys in the next video. And until then, just keep on coding on.